Morning. So we're in, well, we just left Laurel, Montana, rolled across the scales, and apparently right there. Now we're coming into Billings, Montana. We're going to take I-90 and go this way. I-94 is going to keep going straight. And we're going to, start our turn to the south. We're going to start our turn to the south to go down to Denver today. So, let's get to that. To go in and do whatever you got to do at the Port Authority of Wyoming, which is basically you go in and you take all of your paperwork with you, and you show them your insurance, you show them your registration, and you show them all of that stuff that the truck has to have on it that you're supposed to have legally. And they flip through it, they enter in your DOT numbers or whatever, and then they ask you, what are you hauling? And I'm hauling minerals. And they're like, all right, have a good day. And that was pretty much it, You're going to roll across the scale.
400 feet, turn right onto the I-90 East ramp.
Sorry. You're going to roll across the scale. You're going to end up on...
Turn right onto the I-90 East ramp.
This one was interesting because it had little arrow lights next to different things. So one was go to Bay 1, go to Bay 2. If you're going to end up being inspected, and then the next one down is come inside.
Mile, merge onto I-90 East.
The next one after that, it's reweigh. Go around and reweigh. Or something like that. And then there was another one. I don't remember what the other one was. So the thing is, these weigh stations and port authorities and everything, they're fairly self-explanatory. Okay. Really, honestly, what you have to do when you go in is just follow the signage.
You're dragging something there.
So,
You're dragging something. Yeah, my trailers, right? Don't want to get
Continue on I-90 East for 40 miles.
You're gonna end up having to go through, just follow the signage basically. If it says go 3 miles an hour across the scale, go 3 miles an hour across the scale. If it says go 5 miles an hour across the scale, go 5 miles an hour across the scale. There are some scales down south that, like Florida, for instance. Florida's a weigh in motion. You're going to go across the scale. They're going to say, hey, you're good. Take the left lane. If you're light, if you're not, you're going to go in the right lane, and they're going to put you on the scale and make sure you're okay. Apparently near as I can tell, the weigh in motion systems are not as accurate as everybody would like them to be. And it's I went across the scales in the road, so apparently I was all right. But why'd y'all pull me in? Well, because at 70 miles an hour, when you go across the scale that's in the road, we can't tell what your weight is for sure. We know that you're somewhere above 70,000 pounds, but now we got to know where you're at. So that's why you get pulled into the right lane. I'm running right around 74 with the load that I've got right now. Every scale that I've gone through so far, they haven't bypassed me. They've put me across the scale. So, and, I'm watching people go past me, bypass me, but they're lighter than I am, and I'm a lot heavier. So I can understand what the reason is. But if it says 3 miles an hour, I try to go 3 miles an hour or less. If it says 5 miles an hour, I try to go 5 miles an hour or less. It says keep a 100-foot interval. I do that at all the scales. Every scale that I go to, I try to keep back from the truck in front of me by 100 feet. Because I don't want to get confused with the truck in front of me. And I've gotten pretty close. Coming out of North Carolina, there was a scale there, and I was a little too close to the guy in front of me, and I didn't know whether or not I needed to go into the scale or whether or not I needed to stay out of the scale. And it said truck enter scale, so I went into the scale and went across scales and everything was fine. I probably didn't need to go in, but you never know. The second thing is, if the sign says open, just err on the side of caution, go into it. There was a scale in Louisiana that I went into. I was coming out of Mississippi going into Louisiana, and the sign said that the scale was open. So, and it's like one of those lit signs, you know, the green ones, and it says open. Like, okay. So I pulled into the scale. Well, there's nobody in the scale. There's a company there trying to fix the scale. They're sitting on the scale. You know, I don't know why the sign said open, but it said open. So I pulled into the scale. Well, I come up on it like, you know, hey, like it's, you know, what the hell? It's closed or whatever. I kind of looked at everybody and like raised my hands like, you know, what the hell's your problem? And they just kind of waved at me and okay. And I had to go like around it, like into the parking area, because the way it's set up is you go straight, you come around and park, and then you pull out and go around this way. Well, I had to go back against traffic basically to get out. And, you know, got out, went on or whatever, and went on from there. But it said open, and so I went on in. But, you know, more or less, just follow the signs. Make sure you're doing the speed limit that it says. If the exit says, you know, the speed limit is 15 miles an hour, try to get down to 15 miles an hour. If it says 25, get down to 25, you know, and just do it. And other than that, it's not that big of a deal. Just don't worry about it too much. Anyway, we're going to go on. We're in Wyoming, which is nice. And we're going to go south to Denver. I got about 6 hours worth of driving. Going to have to take a break between here and there. I'll find a spot. And then we'll get into Denver. I'm cutting it close as far as my hours are concerned. I looked them up this morning when I left. I got 11 hours. Like 11 hours and 25 minutes basically was what it looked like. Or basically 11 and a half hours. I'm only driving 8, so I'll have 2 or 3 hours left when I get there. But there's definitely not really anywhere past Denver that I can get to. And still have hours available. So we're going to shut down Denver for a 34-hour restart. I think I'm having issues trying to find like a place to park the trailer so I can go do stuff. So I may just end up like Ubering around Denver or whatever, not going real far. Supposed to meet a friend of mine, and I may just leave the truck parked in like the TA or something like that in Denver and just take the like Uber or whatever around. That may be the best solution. I'll have to leave the truck running because the dog and the cat are in here. But it is what it is. I'd rather take the truck with me, and I'm going to ask the TA if I can leave the trailer behind. But if I can't, then I'll have to. Like, if I either stay where I'm at, or I'll have to like, you know, come and go or something like that, or take Uber or whatever. So anyway, let's get back to it. I'm in Casper, Wyoming, and the video that you just saw is kind of funny because, well, when you come up over the hill, all of a sudden there's Casper. Just boom, right there. Surprises you. Like, I guess, like the friendly ghost or whatever. So, hold on just a second. So, anyway, the problem that I ended up having was, and you guys kind of saw it, I pulled off the highway to get fuel, and the place that I pulled off the highway to get fuel had trucks kind of stacked up inside of it. So I was like, oh no, I'll go on to the other TA, or not the TA, to the Flying J that I was already heading to, which was at exit like 182 or something like that. And so I like, screw it, I'm gonna go on to the next one. So I go on to the next one, and it's actually not a Flying J. So I had to turn around and come back. What I had done was I had clicked on what I thought was the Flying J, and instead I had clicked on something else entirely. So that was kind of interesting. The truck stop's kind of tight. And I had to come back, turn around and come back to the Flying J originally. And I ended up getting the pump closest to the door, which was nice. So I wouldn't mind stopping here again. There's apparently a nice restaurant next door called the Grub Hub. I guess that's what it's called. They got a lot of like stuff out the front. So anyway, but now we're gonna leave Casper. We're gonna go on down to Denver. I'm gonna park in Denver tonight at the TA and probably try to do some laundry and get a shower and all that good stuff. I might not do laundry. I might save it till I get back to Dallas. But, do a shower or whatever, and then I've got a friend that lives in the Denver area, and if I can find a place to drop the trailer like I did in Tallahassee, then he and I are going to hook up and go to get something to eat tomorrow evening, and I'm going to still try to go to the Fording Museum. So, anyway, that's pretty much it. Let's get heading south.